All right, man, we back. Marcy Sports Talk. Michigan loses to the nifty Lions of Penn State, 28-21. And let's talk about it, man. Tough game, but I do think Michigan showed a lot of resiliency throughout the game. They could have folded and bent and broken 10 times over again like they did versus Wisconsin. Shout out to Illinois today, beat Wisconsin, but Michigan didn't fold. You know what I'm saying? They stood tall. And I think, in my opinion, this was the best game Shea Patterson played. I know he did throw a touchdown. He rushed for one. He threw an interception. You know, it was a bad one early on in the game. But he showed a lot of mental fortitude today. He showed a lot of heart. And but let's talk about the game. They outscored us 21 points to nothing, or 21 points to 7 in the first half. In the second half, we outscored them 14-7, and it came down to the last time we had the ball in our hand on the goal line, man. And Ronnie Bell, I think, dropped the ball, and it was a good ball by Shea Patterson. Shea Patterson could have folded, he could have failed, he could have failed down, and he couldn't have stepped up in the pocket, but he stepped up in the pocket. He made a good play. And it looked like the defender was holding Ronnie Bell, but it wasn't no excuse for him not to catch that ball. But in the beginning of the game, just defense just gave up early on. Don Brown just stuck in his ways with his man defense. And a lot of times they playing man with no zone, with not two safeties in the back. They playing straight man and they blitzing, or they might be robbing. I have to go back and watch the tape, but early on, the one-on-one plays down the line, I think the tight end might have pushed off on one of the deep touchdowns, but Michigan give up a lot of plays defensively, vertically, and it's not that they DBs is not as good, but it's a different era. Had you been able to do like it was 20, 30 years ago and be handsy and be physical with the receivers and beat them up the field, I feel that Michigan in man defense would be more suited. You could probably play man defense 80% of the game. Now, past 5 yards now, you really can't get handsy no more. You know, and Don Brown just don't believe in zone or combo coverage. And, you know, first touchdown was a deep pass. He accelerated past the receiver. It looked like they might have maybe one safety in the middle of the field. Like I said, I have to go back and watch the tape. And once the quarterback licked the safety off and get him going this way, he want to throw this way or have him, looking down the middle of the field and keep him guessing. Go right over the top. It's one-on-one coverage. You know, it's like, especially if you ain't getting supreme pressure and the quarterback can buy time or step up in the pocket and throw off a clean platform. That's like 7-on-7 then, especially if you're not getting home. You know, with your pressure, 7-on-7. Once they pick up the blitz or once they pick up the pass rush, it's 7-on-7. And people talk about 7-on-7 drills. 7-on-7 drills is designed for the receiver to win. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. It's receiver versus corner. You know, it's really 2-on-1 because you got the quarterback, and then it's the quarterback and receiver versus the DB. It's no live pass rush, and that's what Michigan be going. When they get beat down the field, the opposite offense is picking up the pass rush and picking up the blitz, and they able to throw down the field. So I don't put a lot of responsibility on the defensive backs and the linebackers. It's tough to play man coverage the majority of the game, especially when they're picking up your pass rush and your blitz. But they got beat with 2 touchdowns deep early, and that's what was the difference. Had Don Brown played a little bit conservative or less aggressive, maybe this game, is winnable more winnable for Michigan. But they did tighten up in the second half. But the 2 deep the deep plays, and then the running back, he broke up off a big run. I think when Penn State got the ball, they running back, maybe on one of the first plays, he broke open on the edge, and the Michigan defensive end or linebacker or whoever was safety lost contain. But they shored that up, but not before that running back got that big run down the middle of the field, and I think they was able to punch it in as well. Second half, Michigan defense played better. Harbaugh said this is going to be a critical time. They was going to be the men of the hour, and they stepped up. You know, when people would say Patterson was 24 for 41, 276, one INT. He rushed the ball 12 times for 34 yards. Charbonnet played well. Haskins, he was all right, 13 for 28. Charbonnet had 81 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. But the whole thing is with Michigan, at the essence of Jim Harbaugh's premise is about running the ball. Maybe from the spread and the shotgun, I formation, full house, offset I, whatever the situation, single back, it's running. And when that, I'm going to keep saying it, when that running back was deemed academically ineligible, who was it, Chris Evans, I don't know his name, academically ineligible, that hurt Michigan. Because they can't depend on Charbonnet or Haskins to carry the load. That veteran running back they had missing this season, that hurt Harbaugh in this offense and Josh Gaddis, and they not being able to run. Charbonnet is not a running back. I can just tell by his build that's meant to run out the shotgun. He meant to run 3 or 5 yards up the line of scrimmage from the eye of single back formation. But he making do, and I believe he a freshman. And for him just to be holding up and durable as he is, 7-8 weeks into the college season, I think he's gonna end up being an animal for the Michigan Wolverines down the line. But Penn State quarterback, he ran a little bit. Sean Clifford, he was 14 for 25, 182, 3 touchdowns, and I believe all three touchdowns was deep. And he ran for a touchdown. So Jim Harbaugh can't say that Shea Patterson ain't get outplayed, but the whole thing about it was I like the adjustments that Gaddis made, but he just don't have the running backs. But everything I've been saying, they need to do more design runs with Shea Patterson. They did it today. They called his number several. He rushed 12 times. Maybe not all 12 was by design, but they called more design running plays for Shea Patterson, and that's what they had to do to make him more comfortable. Now, was he, hella successful with 2.8 yards to carry for 34 yards and 12 carries? No, but it gives the defense something else to think about. But Shea Patterson played with a lot of heart today. You know what I'm saying? He stepped up and he showed that he is a gamer. We talked about him a lot. They dropped balls early on too. You know what I'm saying? They dropped a hell of a lot of early balls from him, man. I can't remember all of them name, but they dropped balls. Peoples-Jones dropped the ball. Penalties killed them. It's like watching the Detroit Lions. Michigan seemed to take 3 steps forward, and then a penalty, they take 8 steps backwards. It's not a disciplined team. The offensive line, they held up, once Penn State stopped blitzing, they started picking up the blitzes, and they started doing well. But I think this was Patterson's best game. The numbers might not indicate it, but he played with a lot of heart. He played with a lot of this tonight, man. And like I said, Jim Harbaugh, he was willing to ride or die with Shea Patterson. He very, very loyal. He probably promised Shea Patterson a starting job. He kept his word, no matter if it's going to be his job, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But let's talk about the play on Metellus. Don Brown had him. I think he a linebacker. Don Brown had him in man coverage, bro, playing off the ball. And the dude in the slot just ran a post right down the field. He just ran a post route and ran right by him. He wasn't in position. He was playing him like 5, 7, 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. And the dude ran right by him. He was better off just tackling him and taking the pass interference 15-yard penalty. But bad play in a critical moment. The offensive coordinator outcoached Don Brown. He leaving a 218-pound linebacker on one of the fastest receivers on the field, fastest players on the field, and he smoked Metellus. And that was another critical play. Don Brown defenses give up too many big plays down the field, and that's because he asking his DBs and linebackers to cover one-on-one with no coverage in the back. Even if you got a single safety high, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. The field's so damn wide in college, and the hashes is so much ground to cover up. The safeties in college usually ain't as fast as the safeties in the NFL. So if you look him off and you come back that way, there's no way he can be there. You know what I'm saying? It's no way. And he asking these DBs to cover one-on-one, and now they getting constructive criticism across social media as if they suck. Like, dude, you know how hard it is to cover them receivers one-on-one in today's football? pro or college, that's damn near impossible to go out there and be on the island 24/7. That's impossible for them to be for them to do that, man. And because you got to defend against the slants, the sluggos, the double moves, the post corner routes. I mean, you got to defend against a lot, man. And they asking them to do too much. And Don Brown will have to be at least put two men over the top, man, to help his DBs out. He's gonna have to call more cover 3, Tampa 2, cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, combo cover zone mixed with man. He's gonna have to call more of that. And he just stuck in his ways. You know what I'm saying? He's stuck in his ways. One thing I can say that's better than him about Pasqualoni and Patricia for the Lions, that joker ain't scared to blitz. But those plays where he blitz or he played man coverage and not no help from behind in the back, those the difference. His man coverage plays, even if the tight end did push off, ain't gonna call it. Everything is first towards the offense. Even in his man coverage plays, it's just like, man, you just like they the reason they losing. Those man coverage plays they playing is the reason teams is getting 7 points. They now have to chip up the field. All you know in Burst, Michigan, you gonna get 7 opportunities at least to score a touchdown on a big play. Darren Brown, and they took advantage of them. Out of probably 7, 8, 9, 10 possibilities, they got 3 big deep touchdowns. You know, and ain't people blaming Hill, they blaming this guy, that guy for that. It's the scheme. You know, Darren Brown, man, scheme. He needs to be more versatile and mix in with zone coverage, at least with his man. But he, you know, it is what it is, man. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's time for Harbaugh to be fired. This was one of his redemption games to win. They probably gonna lose versus Notre Dame. Michigan State, anything can go. Then they probably gonna get their ass kicked by Ohio State. So it's over with for him. You know, they need to be working on the buyout route right now, and they may or may not they should or should not let him go right now. But I'll be working on the buyout. You know, we gonna buy you out at the end of the season, and I'll open up my candidate search to find a true head coach. He ain't got to be a Michigan man. Somebody that can come in and get the job done. May it be the guy down in Virginia. May it be the dude up in Stanford that succeeded Jim Harbaugh, but Jim Harbaugh finished. You know what I'm saying? They made adjustments, they made strides, but you know what? He couldn't find a quarterback. All his quarterbacks was regurgitated transfers. May it be Jeff O'Corney, may it be Wilton Spate, may it be Jake Rudock, Najee Patterson. He's never developed a quarterback. He didn't develop Brandon Peters, who today beat Illinois. Shout out to them. He didn't develop the kid from Warren De La Salle. He just pure sucked though. Shane Morris, he just sucked. He didn't. I think he was there. I don't know what ended up happening to him, but he just sucked. He couldn't play. Neither could Devin Gardner. He sucked too. He wasn't no quarterback. He should have been a tight end or some shit like that, defensive end. Other than that, you know, he don't act like he want to develop Joe Milton, guy that can throw 80, 85 yards. He don't want to develop and play Dylan McCaffrey. He don't trust his ability to develop quarterbacks. And he going to other programs to get other quarterbacks. And you look at the quarterback that back up in Florida, Emory Jones. He was probably the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart at Florida behind Filippo, whatever his name, and the new guy they got. Like, Emory Jones is a bad boy. He can start right now in Michigan. And I guarantee you Michigan will probably they probably be undefeated with Emory Jones at quarterback versus Shane Morris. And it's a dude that ain't had that much experience, but he can play and he can throw the ball. You can see the difference from a guy that's a 3rd-string quarterback at Florida to a guy at Michigan with a lot of experience from Ole Miss. He better than him. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Michigan need that quarterback that cover up the other deficiencies. They got the pass catchers, but obviously, was it Ronnie Bill? Was it Ronnie Bill or Nico dropped? I think it was Ronnie Bill that dropped that ball. Shea Patterson put it on the money. You know what I'm saying? But when you got a quarterback that's erratic, that ain't always accurate, it make it harder for you to catch the ball. But today, Shea Patterson made some good throws, but I noticed they like throwing outside the numbers with him. They don't trust him over the middle of the field. He like throwing outside the numbers. But he threw that ball right on his chest, and the defender did pull on him if you watch that play a little bit. But they're not going to call it in that situation at Penn State. And Bell should have caught the ball. We don't know if we would have won or we would have lost, or Harbaugh would have went for 2. They wouldn't have won in overtime, but that was a defining moment. But then again, the very next week, they could have got their ass whooped by Notre Dame. Then after that, they could have got their ass whooped by Michigan State. After that, they could have went down and got their ass whooped by, I don't know if we played Minnesota this year. They undefeated. Didn't know that today. Could have got when they was going to get whooped by Ohio State. So, Harbaugh need to go ask for that Dallas Cowboys job before they give it to Urban Meyer. But, yeah, I definitely will be working on the buyout right now. It's over with. And it's to the point that where you go, you got to find somebody innovative, somebody that got a quarterback-friendly system, and somebody that can play Big Ten football but can still compete with the SEC, Big 12, and the Pac-12. And that's just what it boiled down to, man. But, hey, it is what it is. We took the L. We've been taking lumps for years. I'm tired of losing to Ohio State. I'm tired of losing to games like Wisconsin. I'm tired of losing games like Penn State. But I will say Shea Patterson played with a lot of heart tonight. But he just ain't the guy for the job. And Harbaugh can't identify or develop a quarterback talent himself. But hey, Motor City Sports Talk. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email. If you got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests, keep sharing the videos. You want to make a donation, that link's in the description. Best way to donate, share the video. Check out the channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV, for more music, sports, entertainment. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Let me know what you guys think about the game to come.